Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually going to do something a bit different. I was actually at my locals last night and funnily enough, I took it down with Beerus. We did 4 rounds. Beerus for me is a leader that I am absolutely loving these days. Back when I did my first tier list, I didn't really know how to build this leader whatsoever. Obviously, it's more of a control deck, which I found just kind of didn't play into red strategy, but the more that I played and the more that I sort of fine-tuned the deck, the more I realised that yes, actually this is exactly how red can play and it does it very well. So I'm going to go over the list that I was using at my locals, and then we'll try and do a quick game, and obviously I'll go through some matchups. So the first maybe 10 minutes of this video will probably be me just discussing the local side of it. So if you do want to skip ahead, obviously go ahead, but hopefully you'll find some of the information I give pretty helpful. So Beerus for me is just, for me now at this stage, I absolutely love this leader. I think generically with red, I do think that Starter Q is the better leader, but I think that Beerus just kind of controls the board to a way where your opponent just never gets off the ground. With Starter Q, whenever you start to fall behind, it almost seems like it's one of those matches that you're always playing on the back foot, whereas Beerus will equalize a board basically every turn, right? I also think that Beerus is a great matchup into the green leaders. It's just a way for us to crit them down so they don't gain hand size, so when they actually use things like their destructive strength and their Vegetas, they are losing cards from hand. For, you know, if Vegeta uses a discard effect, or even if they're just using the skill to ramp a card, it's lost, right? It's no longer in hand. So I do like crit leaders into green for that reason. But we'll go over the list quickly. Obviously everybody knows what these cards do, so I'm just going to quickly just glaze over this list. So we have 4 of the Whis that negs 5, 4 of the Self-Awakened Roches, 4 Draw Roches, 4 hits, 4 Fuas, 2 of the when your leader's awakened, it's 25k. I like this mainly just for the Broly match, that's pretty much the only reason it's in here. We have 4 Krillin Self-Awakeners, 4 of the Goku 3 drop, sorry. We run a skillless package just because honestly I don't know what else we would put in here. The only other thing that you could put in here is maybe more criticals, but personally, on my part, I just don't like it. I don't like that they're 5k combos. At least the Vegeta is a 10k, but it's a 2 cost 15k. It doesn't work in this leader. It works in Starter Q and also in U7 just because it gets that buff, so it's a 20k attacker. But when you're swinging with a 15k crit, you're only getting the benefit on an unawakened leader, and then at that stage, the card's just dead, right? I don't like cards like that have no value beyond turn 2, basically. So we run these cards. These are good into Broly again. They're 25ks plus their 10k combos, which is what I always want to run in red. So I like these cards for that reason. And then we have 2 secret rares. This card last night was actually MVP for me. It basically won me 2 of my matches. Simple as, between the neg of the 10k from the Beerus, sometimes the -5 on the Whis, and then the -15 here. I mean, you're dropping 30k power, like, consistently. It's ridiculous power. But my favourite thing to do with the secret rares is obviously just, if my opponent's got a 20k battle card, neg it 15 with the secret, and just attack into it. And if they want to spend the cards from hand to protect it, go right ahead. Like, for me, that's still a win. I don't care that the card survived, I'll just attack into it with my leader. They're not going to save it twice, and if they do, it's crippling their hand size, so I'm fine with it either way. We run 2 of the 4-drop Gohans. This is the only leader I like this card in. I do not like this card whatsoever. But in Beerus, I don't mind it. I actually think it's okay in Beerus, just because, again, we can neg 20 between the combined effect of the leader, or 25 if we have the Whis, and it's a critical attacker. So, again, for the turns where my opponent's kind of stalled out, we can at least keep swinging crits at my opponent, which is just the whole idea there. But I'll go over one of my matchups shortly, which will sort of go into detail about how this, again, more or less won me the match as well. We run 3 of the 5 drops. There is an argument to run 4. I just would not, because we run a lot of 0ks as is. You know, we've got, I think, 9 in this list currently, something like that. I don't think I would run more than that. Plus, we've got 2 dead cards in these extra cards as well. So I think 11 dead cards when I'm tapped out is enough, right? I don't want to do that, or defensively at least. And then 4 super combos and 2 God Kamehamehas. God Kamehameha is literally, if you have a 40k or less, it's dead, right? That's pretty much it. A lot of the times when I played this card, at least in person and locals, even online, realistically I'm not using this apart from to kill a cooler or to kill the 6-drop androids, things like that. There's not many cards that I feel like I need to tap this energy for. There are the odd occasion where I'll need to remove a 5 cost But again, it's just one of those things where it depends on the situation, and if I have cards on board, like I hate tapping 2 for this card. It's still a great card for 2 energy, but I love to be able to tap 1 off the effect, just from its permanent. So, but that's it. And then I'll go over the matchup. So the first match we played Broly. Broly was a pretty steady match, to be honest. We were not over comboing, but we kind of hit everything that I needed to. For example, so like my turn 1, I saw this Roshi. I swung for the 20k crit, he took it, and I was like, right, that's fine. Going into the next attack, though, I was a bit worried he was going to start comboing, because he had no cantrips, which was a bit of a bad start for him, but I was worried that he was going to start comboing 10ks just to avoid taking the damage, so I was like, well, we're not having that, we'll just swing for 25s now, pretty much. So, I played another one of these, swung, I think I played a 10k Roshi as well, just to partially self-awaken throughout that as well. The early turns were just crit pressure that he couldn't deal with without dropping his entire hand, which was excellent. And then we ended up going second. So on my turn 3, we played this Gohan, and at that point, I think it was 4 damage I dealt to him that were all criticals, and he had, I think he comboed out of one of the attacks as well. It was just his hand size was so small. And then the turn 3, I'll Disruptive Strength. That's another card from hand. Turn 4, played Vegeta. He did kill a 2-drop. I think I had the Krillin on board, in one of my turns. He killed the Krillin, but again, he discarded for it, and I was like, yeah, he's got 2 cards in hand. He's never recovering from this. I can just feel free to even just double strike him at this point. I'm not bothered. But he ended up playing. I can't remember what it was he played. I think it was the 25k Trunks, and he swung with it. Killed one of my battle cards. I didn't really care about it. But then I played the secret rare when he was on 3 life, right? This was the big play. He had 2 cards in hand. I played the secret rare, negged it down to 10k, swung with the secret. He didn't protect. Obviously, he probably didn't have a super combo or whatever, so he wouldn't have got out of it, or it wasn't worth it. So we put him to 2 life, and then in the next turn, he androids, kills a bunch of our board. We don't really care. And then the next turn, we just put down the 5-drop, and we dump like 100k on it. It was wild. Like, we got some insane combo power. It was a pretty straightforward game. I didn't really feel like I was ever in danger in that one. I think I finished the game on 4 or 3 life, and I think the only life I took once I got to 4 was just ones I was willing to take, just so I could get there. My game 2 was against Frieza. That was... I would argue that was a pretty easy match, honestly. Nick is a great player, don't get me wrong. He's a very, very good player, but I just think Beerus into yellow just has such a great match, because we just neg their board consistently, and they will never retain their, they'll never ever be able to establish the Raccoon board without having to go wide on that turn. Like, they'll have to Sorbet and then Raccoon. For 4 energy, that's a terrible play, right? It's the way it is, but they will never maintain a board to the point where they will have a Frieza army and it just stays around. It just doesn't happen. So that was a pretty straightforward game. There wasn't really too much to go into in this one, to be honest. It was just more or less, whenever he played a 20k, use a secret rare, beat it down, make him take the life, and then once we get him into double strike range, we just play this. He did play a cooler, which I did God Kamehameha. I tapped 2 for it on I think it was my turn 4, I think. But we got rid of his cooler just because I didn't want to see the blocker on the board. But again, going into turn 5, if he has a cooler on the board, we literally don't care, because this negs 20 and our league negs 10. So there we go, 30k, it's gone, right? So it really didn't matter in hindsight. I did think about it after I did that it was really not worth it. But you live and learn. You make these mistakes and you practice, and you just try and go back through your matchups and just try and figure out where you went wrong, or what you think kind of slowed you down, so to speak. And this definitely slowed me down, and I shouldn't have done it. So that's a mistake I won't make again. But yeah, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. It was just all one-sided pretty much. When we were swinging crits, we ended up going first that game as well. So we didn't get our crit off in the first turn, but my opponent for the first 2 turns was willing to take a couple of crits, and I think at that point it's just unrecoverable, because as soon as I field this Gohan, I'm just going to protect this all day long. You can swing 20k's at it all you want, but you have to combo from hand, and then so do I. So it's like, well, we're going 1 for 1, but you, as a Frieza player, you can't live on a small hand. So we just won the attrition war in the early game, or the mid game, so it was fine for us. And then game 3, we played against Goku Black. Yeah, pretty straightforward, honestly. I think my opponent didn't have a proper Goku Black list. I think he was borrowing a friend's deck who I think was missing a couple of the starter deck stuff, so I think he was missing some extra cards, things like that. But again, it was a pretty straightforward match. Goku Black into Beerus is such a difficult match for them. We just keep they can never retain a 1-drop Zamasu on the board. We're just removing them turn after turn after turn. They have to play them in the same turn. So to get to their 6-drop, they have to pay 5 energy in a turn. And in Goku Black, that's not great. That's not great value whatsoever, because by the time you get to 5 energy, I'll have you at double strike range, almost guaranteed. Plus, we played a little defensively, so we weren't taking crits from my opponent. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it stalled my Awaken an extra turn, meaning that I had less cards in hand than I would have liked. But again, I didn't really see the point in not doing it. I think when it got to the first attack, I think I just comboed off a Fu or whatever. It was just nothing, so I just got out of it that way. And then on the next turn, I had this Roshi obviously on the board from the previous turn. I just comboed that off because I was at 5 life anyway. So it didn't really bother me that I was going to have to play something like, I think I played this 3-drop to kill something. I think it was like a Go 10 or something like that. But I played this 3-drop literally just as a way to kill that card and take the life just to get into the Awaken range. So again, maybe not as efficient as I'd like, but you know, we again hit our curve perfect. You know, we were critting him to death with the Beeruses, and then we had a Gohan, and we just started swinging for more crits as well. So it was really, really good. We were swinging for 30k crits almost every turn for a while. It was really powerful, and he just had no cards in hand. So we won it again through attrition. And then the last match was against Vegeta. This was against Kashi, who is arguably one of the best players in the UK. We took it down. It was a very, very close game. Very close game. I gambled on the last turn that I had enough combo power to win. He was tapped out when I made the decision, so at least I didn't have to fear Gallic Gun. But yeah, we got lucky. Only saw one super combo. The matchup all the way through from the beginning was pretty much in our control. You know, we were comboing when we needed to get our crits. To the point, I know Kashi as a player, so I kind of knew when to expect him to do his comboing. There was turns where he did it where I wasn't expecting it, but do you know what? It was fine. Again, he's playing blue, so he needs to remain around that 8-card, 7-card hand. So, you know, he's obviously comboing for reasons, but I was just making the mistake of not asking how big his hand size was. And yeah, so that was a really, really good match. And then I think we used the secret rare twice. I think this was the mistake that Kashi made to give me the game, basically. He was on 4 life, and I was honestly struggling to push damage through. But twice he used the 3-drop Trunks to bounce this back to hand. Sorry, no, he played the Trunks to bounce the Gohan back to hand, I think it was, sorry. Which I was fine with. I was like, right, okay, that's no problem. We have the secret rare in hand now, so I tap 4, secret rare, minus it by 15, swinging it. Again, he doesn't out-combo it because he knows that we're just going to swing it again, or we're just going to neg it to death. So he chose not to defend a life there. Then the very next turn, he played a 3-drop Trunks and bounced it back to hand, and then swung with the 3-drop Trunks. I think that was the big mistake he made. He was trying to pressure our life, which I don't think is the wrong thing, but that Trunks is really, really susceptible to this card. And because you're not bottom decking it, like, he should have known it was coming again. And we went second that match, so we used the energy marker the first time we tapped 4, and then the second time was just a tap 4. And again, we dealt 2 damage to him just through the secret rare, and then because he was in double strike range, that was it. We knew that the next turn we were going to have to go for it pretty much. He also, I think, was another mistake, was he played the 5-drop and then he attacked the leader. I can understand why, because if you're going to play the 5-drop and you're not going to attack into Beerus, it's likely a dead card, right? And he was right, because we had this God Kamehameha in hand, right? So the 5-drop was definitely going to die no matter what. But he attacked, and he put us from 3 to 1, which was 2 more combo power, or 2 cards, which was 15k combo power, I think it was. And at that point, my decision was pretty much sealed. You know, swing the leader at the Vegeta, we don't care if it goes through or not. Not at his leader, swing at the battle card, just so he doesn't get a card in hand. And yeah, I think we drew into another 10k, and I think I got up to about 85k or 90k, I think it might have been, something like, around that. But he only had 1 super combo, and with him being tapped out, he couldn't use any of his extra cards. And yeah, I think he got to like 75k. It was still very close, but we did a great job of controlling his board in the early game just through minusing and stuff like that. So, but it was a really, really good match. But I just think that Beerus has that great. This is why I love the leader. Is my ability to build a board at the same time as removing my opponents is so valuable. Like, getting to kill a 30k off of this is crazy. Like, just, you know, they have a cooler on board. Yeah, I'll minus 10 off the lead, play this, and then it's just dead. Like, it's such a good card. I love it, honestly. But yeah, so those were the matchups. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run a quick game as well with this deck. Hopefully we get a good match. And we'll see how we get on. But yeah, I wanted to do just a quick deck profile, and obviously to talk through my matchups and how the deck kind of performed. I was honestly really surprised. I wasn't even going to play Beerus yesterday. I was actually going to take Starter Coup. But I decided to take Beerus instead, mainly because I got a nice shiny alt-art leader last week, so I wanted to kind of show off. Obviously this one in the background if you can see it. But yeah, so we ended up going with Beerus, and personally I like the choice. It obviously worked out well for me. But I think across most of my matchups, I do think Beerus was definitely... It was better positioned to deal with them. Starter Coup is a great deck, don't get me wrong. But Yellow Frieza, when your opponent's playing the Ginyu stuff, Beerus just never gives them the time to set this up, and I love that about Beerus. Whereas Starter Coup, you kind of have to... You have to turn your plays into removing your opponent's board, which sometimes making that pivot isn't efficient. Whereas Beerus, you know, I'm minus in 10k off his cantrip, so he doesn't have a Frieza army on board for free, basically, which is what I love. So hopefully we get a good game here with the Frieza. Yeah, we'll keep that. We have our 1-drop. It's not the best 1-drop in the game to play, but you know what? It'll do. We have our hit, so we've got a lot of potential Mega Power here. We'll just charge this. We only run 2 of them, but honestly, into Frieza, that card's kind of neither here nor there. It doesn't really do much. We do have 2 0Ks, so depending on what we draw next turn, I might charge the Secret Rare. Or the God Rare. I hate how that still says SCR. I don't know if it actually does say that in the physical game, but I feel like that should have the GDR for God Rare. Yep, of course we take that. The thing is with these vanillas is that this is what's in Beerus right now. With the new set launch, this will definitely change for sure. The one thing I keep forgetting is Beerus is also U7. I keep forgetting that for some reason. But it means that this leader can go very well with the new U7 stuff like the androids, the Android 17, even the Gohan potentially. See, I think he has a cantrip, but he's scared to play it. I kind of want to keep the double strike just in case we don't see another one, so we're going to charge that. Let's just swing for critical. I would have loved to have seen a Krillin rather than the hit here, because I really don't want to give him a card in hand. But we are going to play it. I just don't think I'm going to attack with it this turn. Because at best here, he can play the Frieza that will rest a battle card, and then if he swings into it with his leader, again, I think we're fine with it. If he swings at the Whis, we'll let it die. We don't really get any benefit from it, but you know what, it's fine. If he swings at hit, he has to combo, so again, I'll just protect it, it's fine. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen the Krillin rather than hit, just because I never really particularly want to swing for cards that we're just going to give our opponent in hand. I'd much rather attack a battle card with hit. And then between these two, we can minus 10k on whatever 20k he plays if he attacks. Okay, so he's probably not going to attack then. That's a decent card for us, but I think I'm going to play this. I want to build a board here. I do think I charge the 5-drop now, honestly. Could charge the hit. So I'm just thinking this turn, do we even attack outside of our leader? That's the question. We're definitely playing this to pop that because he will just block the crit. But do I attack outside of this? That's the question. And I don't. We'll see if he takes this crit. If he doesn't take this crit, we probably will swing with hit. I know that we're kind of putting him into his own self-awaken range, but I'm not that fussed. Oh no! No! Oh, I need to stop talking. Oh my god, that was a huge, huge error. Wow, what a mistake that was. Oh god. Yep, oh, okay. Well, that's annoying. If had we swung with hit, we would have drawn into that anyway, but it is what it is. Okay, so we can neg that down, because I'll swing with hit here. I doubt he'll take, or I doubt he'll block it, because he'll want the card in hand. We'll minus that by 5, minus by 5, and then we'll awaken, minus it by 10. So do you know what, we're just going to do this just in case he blocks first anyway. I don't want him to still have this card. That's kind of annoying. I might actually give up the crit here, just in favour of the draw. I can't believe I did that. I need to stop talking sometimes. Yeah, that was a good block. He knows it's a dead card anyway. So I think now that he did that, do I actually just swing crit? Yeah, I'll swing for crit. Rather than the draw, I think the critical here is more important. He does have 8 cards in hand, so he still has a decent hand size, but... And then I think I just play the hit and pass. Okay, so we're getting 2 cards out of him here. I'm surprised he went with a 5k combo. Excuse me? Okay, so we messed up, but so did he. Because if he was going to combo off the butter anyway, I don't know why he comboed the Zarbon. Because he would have been out. So I don't really understand that one. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, I think we established the hit and we just leave it on board. We just don't swing with it. He's comboed out, he's still at 6. We're in no hurry to awaken him. He has to essentially self-awaken twice this turn. Yeah, we got away with that because of that mistake. We got 2 cards out of hand there when we realistically should have only got 1. I don't know, that must have been a mistake. I don't know if he meant to do this one. Here's the question, buddy, what you gonna rest? Oh, yep. That Roshi just loses all value once we get to our self-awaken. It's a 10k combo on board, but it doesn't really do anything else for us. Okay, so he spent his energy marker here. Now we are going to have to defend this twice, but honestly I don't mind it. It'll lower our hand size big time, but I'm not particularly bothered about it. We forced this leader swing into our battle cards, and then if we defend it, we're in a great spot. Because he gave up his energy marker to do that twice. Okay, that's fine with us. I don't think I defend this whatsoever. I mean, this board's dead. Like, there's just no 2 ways about it. I'm going to keep that just in case there's a cooler coming next turn. So I think we can give him... I'd rather keep Fua as well. I think we can just charge that for now. Okay, so we can't kill them both, actually. We could. Theoretically, we could. -10, put both the 5s onto one of them. See, that's the really annoying thing, is he's just going to combo off one of these just because he knows what's about to happen. But I think it's fine. We technically can clear them both, but if he's smart, he'll just combo one off and get out of this attack. There it is. Yeah, Phil's not great now. If he combos it off again, fair enough. Okay, so we got a combo from hand. The fact he comboed a 10k tells me that if he has a Sorbet in hand, he's trying to save it for the Ginyu stuff. Or if he has a Zarbon in hand, he's trying to save it for the Ginyus. But I don't think he has a 5k in hand, honestly. Or if he does, he really wants to play it. So we'll see if he takes any damage here. So he's charged a lot of 10ks and he's used a lot of 10ks as well. So that's pretty good for us. 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, we crit this one. So he used a barter for sure because that was that mistake combo. I don't know if he used that as a combo or if that was a crit. But then that. So I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in drop and 3 in energy. So that's 7. And yellow historically doesn't run a whole lot of them. I don't know why he wouldn't take... I guess he's worried in case we combo on top of it, but I don't know why he wouldn't take the hit attack and then use the 10k on the Goku swing. I doubt, like, from his perspective, it was very unlikely that we were actually going to do anything with it. We have to be careful about defending this board now, just because obviously of our cards in hand, so if he decides to cooler here, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm not all that bothered about a cooler just because we have a lot of outs to it. Our leader in a 5-drop will do it. This will do it for 1 if he clears the board. I doubt he will though. I want to at least try and protect this card if we can. Depends on if he uses... I was about to say a Supernova. I was just about to say it depends if he uses a Supernova. So I don't think I'm going to defend this one. There's a Supernova, so he's going to lock down the 3-drop, so we're definitely not defending it now. Interesting. He locked the hit. So... Actually, he couldn't have coolered because he did the Supernova. Interesting. Okay. So he's more worried about the neg power, I think. I think we take this. Just get an additional card in hand. Let's try and even up this hand size, because we're now at 6 each. Okay, okay. This card is criminally underrated, honestly. It's so good into red. Yeah, we'll charge that. He is just going to block, so I think we have to play this first. Now, if he goes into his 5-drop next turn, which is kind of the unfortunate part, when you're playing yellow, whoever plays their 5-drops first kind of loses that attrition war, but we have ways to kill his 5-drop, so I'm not particularly bothered about it. So, just in case he has a super combo, I think I'm going to put this onto the attack. Just because it's 2 cards from hand, right? And now every attack is lethal range, which is kind of what I'm looking for, so... If he decides to play his 5-drop here, he pretty much loses. I say he loses. We don't exactly have a lot of combo power, but we can... We're at the 5 energy point now where we can actually play these two. 20k, 25k, so we can start chipping at that hand a bit. Again, I think we just let the hit die here. My only problem is if he plays multiple blockers. That would be my only problem. Now he has to attack to get the lock. So of course he's attacking here, we just let it die. There's no reason to protect it, because it's locked. Do we want the extra energy? That's the question. We'd have 2 shots at 25k. But I want to play Krillin so that we can take the life, because that's honestly more important than that additional card in hand. So I think I keep them because they're 10k combos. I just don't think we're going to charge anything. Actually, do we? No, maybe I charge this. Actually, no, because it wouldn't matter. Realistically, it wouldn't matter unless we draw into the 1-drop Roshi that takes life. Because we have 5 here, and these are likely the only 2 we're going to play, right? Unless we draw into a 3-drop Goku, in which case we keep this for combo power, but it's still a 3 cost. So I think we just skip the charge here. Actually, no. It made sense to charge this. There was no reason not to, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm tempted to put a 10 on this just to draw out a super combo. No, maybe we don't do that. Maybe we'll do that on the Krillin attack. Let's see if he has a 5k. I hope he doesn't, and he just has to spend a 10. Yep, so he spent a 10 there. Fuck, that's awful. That's such a bad life take. So let me just do the math here. So 35, 45, 55, 65 if we put that onto this. If we have to spend a 10k combo here, the most we can get to 55, it's going to be really tight, you know. We just have to see what kind of super combos he's dealing with, because if he has 2 supers in hand, I'm pretty sure he's just winning this. The alternative is we just set up defensively here. I just don't think we have the hand to do it, honestly. We can kill this, but we're now going to have to pay 2 energy for it. I honestly think we just go 20 here. Just try and draw out another 10. If he has 2 supers, he's out, right? Realistically. That life take was awful for us. I think we do this defensively, honestly. I'm not convinced with 4 cards in hand he can't just out-combo us, because he's not used any super combos yet. The question is, if he has coolers and if he has a 5-drop, he's got dead cards in hand. So do we do this? We've got a minute to decide. Right, 35, 45, 55, 65 is the most we can get to. It's just not a high enough number. It's really not. We're gonna have to see. This could have been a big mistake, but honestly, I think based on his hand and the fact we've not seen super combos, I can't risk it. And the problem we have as well is that if he has a 4-drop Frieza, I really don't want to take a damage. So we're gonna have to spend some combo power here on the leader swing when he attacks our leader. Okay, so he has another 5-drop. We'll know when he combos what he had. Oh, so he had that 5-drop. Okay. So there's 20k he had. There's still 3 cards in hand. The problem we have is that this is still a 10k combo. We can kill the blocker, no problem. Yeah, there's no point charging, so we've got 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, we have 90k. 30, even with 3 supers, that's only 90k, right? So that's 80, 90, yeah. I don't think you can get out of this now. Okay, we'll just skip the charge here. I think playing that safe was, like, now knowing that he didn't have supers, presumably, was maybe a bad idea, but... Again, we could swing with leader and get the draw, but I've already done the math, it doesn't matter. Like, that would be 40, 60, 80, 90 would be the most he can get to, and we're at 90. So, the math added out, it didn't matter. Added up, sorry. So there was 1 super. Were we making the right choice? He only had 1. Okay, so we would have won if we did the 65k. No, actually, no, we wouldn't have. But he would have had no cards in hand. I don't know. I think we made the right choice. I do think we made the right choice. So there we go. But yeah, this Beerus list I'm really enjoying. Like, it's board control. His Frieza list was a bit strange, I felt. I need to have a look at the list just because it felt like there was an awful lot of 10ks in there. It was quite surprising, actually. Let's have a look at his Frieza list. So yeah, obviously we saw that. Okay, so he runs 4 extras. This card is so fucking good, honestly. This card into green is just unbelievable. Yeah, it's a pretty standard list, although he only runs 1 Ginyu. What rank was this guy? Let's have a look. Profile. Plat 1. Okay, so he's Plat 1. He's actually that's very good for him, by the way. If he's climbed the ladder using this, well done to him. Very, very well done to him, because he's got most of the core, but 1 Ginyu hurts. Like, it really, like, I don't know. This is only good with this. The Burter's just kind of meh, take it or leave it. But well done to him, honestly. If he's climbed the ladder, specifically using this, good job getting to Plat 1. Yeah, definitely. In our match, the Ginyu doesn't really come up all that often. Like I said, we clear his board on repeat pretty much, so... but he played it well. Like, you could tell mechanically he knew the game. Like, when we started negging this card, he started comboing it off. Like, he was doing the right thing, for sure. So, good job, though. Very, very good job. But yeah, so, guys, I'll give you one last look at the list. I know we went over it at the beginning, but here we go. This is the list that we're currently running with. I love it, currently. This here in the next set, because it says KO, will likely change to the extra card, the 2-cost one that negs 25 when you're awakened. The only reason I prefer this over it is that we can technically pay 1 for it. But with there being so much KO protection in the next set, I think you need to kind of go a neg build, which is why I'm worried about this 3-drop Goku, because Gohan only negs 15k, but this will KO 20k, right? Most of the cards nowadays, or say most of the cards nowadays, in set 2, there are quite a few cards that say cannot be KO'd, or protect cards from being KO'd, or whatever it is. So the KO on this card is honestly a bit risky. It's another reason why I'm loving Beerus into the next set, because yes, we neg 10k. So it's another way of getting around that. So with the Gohan, for me personally, I would probably put in 4 Gohans into this list, because between our leader and the Gohan, we can neg 25k. Yeah, there's probably reasons to maybe keep two of them, something like that, but I think Gohan's in the next set and Beerus for sure are definitely going to be the way to play. That's the Gohan SR for anybody who's not aware. It's basically Goku. It's on play, take a life, or take up to 1 life, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 15k, right? That's the only difference to what this card does, and it's 5k combo, which Goku is 0. So that's another big change, but yeah, so that's what I'm looking at maybe for next set. These cards here will likely be cut potential, just because I don't really like generic vanillas. They don't do anything, so if your opponent has a board, and I tap 3 to play this, I feel like I've got nowhere. Like, it just doesn't feel good. Plus they're 3 cost, meaning that if you play into green, they just kill these cards, but it is what it is. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little change of pace from a video today. I know that we've kind of went a bit longer, but yeah, I thought we did well at Locals last night. It was worth doing a video on the profile, as well as trying to show you a game in action, and, you know, hopefully you learned a thing or two from that. So guys, thank you very much for all the support recently. All the new subs, all the comments, everything has just been positive. Even the feedback in terms of, you know, play lines that I've maybe made mistakes on, nobody's ever criticised. It's always just constructive feedback, and it's really been good to. And I try to get to all these comments as much as humanly possible, but it's been really good and really enjoyable. So I'm loving making this content for you all. And obviously we're going to continue for the next little while in set 2. We now have a move date, which is going to be next week. So we will likely, I'll probably put a footnote into the beginning of the next video around my move date, and the videos are probably going to have to slow down to maybe 2 or 3 a week, just for a week or 2, just while I get set up. I'll try and maybe over-record this week to try and put out, or sorry, this week and next week, just to try and schedule videos to come out. But honestly, between me actually having to work and going to locals, I don't have that much free time nowadays to do that. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. But again, it might slow down to 2 or 3 a week, just for a week or 2 while we get ourselves set back up. But yeah, so, but guys, thank you very much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.